Hello everyone, my name is Austin, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Outside of Hash Marks with Austin Bruce. For those who have never met me before, I am an avid college football fan and an avid sports fan. For several years now, I've offered my takes on games and even produced my own rankings amongst my friends, and now wish to bring this content onto the masses of the YouTube audience. With the 2023 season in the books, with Michigan capturing their first national title since 1997, it's time to look forward to the 2024 season. Under normal circumstances, the 2024 season will be like many other seasons in the 155-year history of college football. However, 2024 brings about sweeping changes that will forever change not just college football, but college athletics as a whole. Today's video will be highlighting these changes and what they mean for the future of college football. Perhaps the biggest change coming to college football in 2024 is the expansion of the college football playoff. For the past 10 years, the college football playoff has featured 4 teams every year. But starting in 2024, that's going to change, as the field triples in size to feature 12 teams. The new model will incorporate all 6 New Year's Six bowl games and also include campus site playoff games for the first round. As of the recording of this video, the field is slated to be a 6+6 model, meaning the top 6 conference champions and the top 6 at-large teams will be selected. However, there is deep discussions of moving to a 5+7 model due to another major change coming up just ahead in the video. Regardless, the top 4 conference champions will each receive a first-round bye, keeping true to the original 4-team playoff format, while also guaranteeing at least one Group of 5 champion will make the playoff every single year. As I just mentioned, more changes could be coming to the 12-team playoff model. This is due to the effective demise of a long-standing conference with over 100 years of history, the Pac-12. The 12-team conference, after failing to secure a new media rights deal, watched as 10 teams bolted for new conferences out east. But let's pause for a moment. Why did this happen, and what led to the downfall of the Pac-12? For that, we have to take it back to 2021. The most recent round of conference realignments began with the Southeastern Conference. In July of that year, both Texas and Oklahoma announced they would leave their longtime home, the Big 12, for the SEC in 2025. What followed is a wild sequence that saw the Big 12 poach 3 teams from the American plus FBS Independent and West Coast Conference member BYU. The American then stole a whopping 6 teams from Conference USA, and the Sun Belt would follow suit, adding 3 more teams from Conference USA plus James Madison from the FCS ranks. Despite losing 9 members, the CUSA bounced back, adding FBS independents Liberty and New Mexico State, as well as FCS members Sam Houston State and Jacksonville State. All of those moves took effect between 2022 and 2023. Still, Conference USA has continued its expansion efforts, plucking Kennesaw State, who is slated to join in 2024, and Delaware, who is expected to join in 2025, from the FCS level to grow back to 11 schools. Still, this doesn't explain why the Pac-12 lost so many of its members. For that, we have to look at the Big Ten. In June 2022, the Big Ten pulled a stunning move, adding USC and UCLA from the Pac-12, with the 2 slated to join in 2024. With 2 of the Pac-12's top brands leaving the conference, the Pac-12 struggled in finding a new media rights deal, with most deals offering less than what the schools had hoped for. Finally, 13 months after USC and UCLA announced their departure, and with no deal signed, Colorado, who had previously been a member of the Big 12, agreed to rejoin the conference. On August 4th, just as the remaining 9 schools were slated to meet and sign a new contract with Apple, Oregon and Washington called off the meeting to announce they too would join the Big Ten. Immediately following that decision, Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State all accepted decisions to go to the Big 12. All of the realignment waves finally coaxed the ACC into discussing potential expansion, seeing Stanford, California, and the American Conference member SMU as their targets. The 3 schools agreed to receive less revenue should they be accepted. That was enough for the ACC to vote to extend invitations to the schools. This left just 2 teams in the Pac-12, Oregon State and Washington State. Though the American was viewed as a potential landing spot for the 2 teams, the American went a different direction, adding FBS independent Army as a football-only member, and deciding not to expand westward. After that, a lengthy legal battle ensued between the last two members and the 10 departing members over control of the Pac-12's assets. Ultimately, the so-called Pac-2 won the case and now have 2 years to get the conference back up to NCAA requirements for conference membership. On the football front, the Mountain West agreed to a scheduling agreement with the two schools for the 2024 season. Moving on from the realignment chaos, the aftermath of it has seen several conferences revert to the days of old, ditching divisions in hope of getting its best teams in playoff position and continuing a recent trend of conferences going divisionless. The Big Ten and SEC both opted to drop divisions following expansion in 2024. The Mid-American Conference later announced that they would also ditch divisions starting in 2024. This leaves the Sun Belt as the last FBS conference to feature divisional alignment. Finally, the coaching carousel brought about changes too noteworthy not to mention. 3 of the 4 teams that played in the CFP in 2023, Alabama, Washington, and Michigan, will have new head coaches in 2024. Just 2 days after the national championship, legendary head coach Nick Saban called it quits at Alabama. With such big shoes to fill, the Tide turned their attention to Washington's Kalen DeBoer. DeBoer, having quickly turned around the Huskies, who went from 4-8 in 2021 prior to his arrival to finishing 14-1 and the national runner-up in 2023, agreed to become Alabama's next head coach. Washington would later lure head coach Jedd Fisch away from Arizona after he led a resurgence of his own in Tucson, going from 1-11 in his first year to 10-3 in 2023. The last and most recent coaching domino of the fall came from Michigan. The Michigan man himself, Jim Harbaugh, became the first head coach to leave his school immediately after winning a national championship, returning to the NFL to coach the Los Angeles Chargers. Michigan quickly regrouped by promoting offensive coordinator and part-time head coach Sharon Moore to the head coaching job. And on that note, that wraps up today's episode. Join me next time as I give a breakdown of my views on the 2024 National Championship race. Stay safe and keep the college football flame burning.